Shut up, Smarks. Ring Ross Redux. No, I won't tap out. I won't tap out. All of you buzzards suck. Just stop watching Raw. Stop watching Raw. So, with that, let's get straight into my double paper review. We got Backlash coming up in the second half of the show. I'm sure I might be able to start it before the first half is over. Hopefully I will, because I got more matches from that than from this. But NXT TakeOver Chicago from the Allstate Arena in Rosemont, Illinois on the WWE Network. Roderick Strong defeated Eric Young with Alexander Roof and Killian Dane in his corner. Try as they might, Sanity weren't able to quite get the job done. It was almost 15 minutes. It was a pretty, to coin a phrase, pretty strong outing for both men involved, and just the fact that Roderick Strong is winning so many of these matches more than previously, obviously, since they did those Who is Roderick Strong videos from a couple weeks ago on NXT TV. Or should I say NXTV? Anyway, I don't necessarily want to go down that road, maybe. So, you know, for anyone who might not be, I don't know, might not be a Roderick Strong fan, it might not be the best part of NXT, but, you know, I'll just give you 5 minutes alone to think about it, because, you know, it seems as though Roderick Strong is far beyond driven. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. So next up, from NXT TakeOver on the WWE Network, saw Pete Dunne defeating Tyler Bate to win the WWE United Kingdom Championship, the belt that I think that was only actually the second title defense since the belt was introduced, I think. So, okay. I mean, the first time it was defended was also on NXT, but on NXT TV, I think. So, I don't know. Makes me wonder why they'd introduce a belt that, sure, they're planning a TV show or a tour or something around it anyway, but, you know, why not have that set up and ready to go, and it happens like a month after the belt is won for the first time, and then you carry over the hype from the original tournament to crown the first champion. And you just, I don't know, maybe they're waiting for Jim Ross. Who knows? I don't know what. But anyway, at any rate, congratulations to the Bruiserweight for winning his first WWE Championship. But not his first championship in general, just the first one in WWE. And presumably, not his last. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. So next up, from NXT TakeOver in Chicago, Illinois, or the suburb of Chicago, Richmond. No sign of Sherman, Illinois, but, you know, that's beside the point. Always when something's from Chicago. Anyway, so Asuka successfully defended her NXT Women's Championship against Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross in a triple threat match, which was originally a four-way, but Ember Moon was injured, and she's actually just recently returned from injury. If you'll check the Siege Mars Ring Rust Facebook page, you'll see news all about that. Assuming, of course, you didn't want to be spoiled. Oh. At any rate, on next week, is it going to be on next week's episode? Anyway, there's a thing online for a spoiler of next week's episode of NXT. If you're interested, if you're not, then by all means avoid it. But, so, I played, I should also tell you how I've been predicting them so far. So, Roderick Strong versus Eric Young, I predicted correctly, but I did predict that Tyler Bate was going to defend his title. Because, like I said, this was only, I think, his second or third title defense since winning the title several months ago. They just haven't been doing, like, you have NXT, you got main event, you've got, you know, just like once a month have a United Kingdom title match on SmackDown or something. I don't know. Do something. You introduced the belt. You commissioned a championship belt to be made with the intention of doing something with it, and then you kind of just didn't do something with it. Until later, granted. I mean, you obviously had plans. Again, it might be as simple as Jim Ross wasn't available until now, and they really, really, really wanted Jim Ross to be part of it. Which case, they made a decision. We'll hold off until Jim Ross is available. We would prefer to hold off until Jim Ross is available than get this out there as quickly as possible. It might have felt rushed too. Who knows if they did it any other way. So it happened. What happened happened. So I'm not really overly complaining about it. I'm not even disappointed that Pete Dunne won the belt or Tyler Bate lost the belt. It's just it is. So, on the other hand, though, Asuka defending her title was something I did predict. So, and now she's actually surpassed a pretty big milestone in wrestling history, and or at least in WWE history, WWE-centric history, because now the history that it is now something that's owned by WWE. So. You are listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV.
It's sticking! Oops. I'm a rocket!
You're listening to wrestling superstar, the Triple X Sex Express Sexy Eddie, and you're listening to Ring Rust, the one and only wrestling talk radio show.
You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. So, next up for NXT TakeOver Chicago on the WWE Network, saw Bobby Roode defeating Hideo Itami to defend his NXT Championship, which was interesting that it wasn't the main event. The tag team match was the main event. So, I don't know. I guess, not complaining. Just, unusual. Am I the only one who thinks it's unusual that, I guess when CM Punk was the champion, those matches weren't necessarily the main event. And now that, I'll get into that a little bit later. Maybe his title matches, or his matches, period, won't be in the main event either, but who knows? It could be fine, it could be atrocious, or it could be glorious.
This is 93.5 CHMR FM. Ring Rust presents Macho Facts. Randy Savage lost his virginity before his dad did. And the Macho Man doesn't sleep, he waits. Like me on Facebook, tinyurl.com/ringrust. Follow me on Twitter @MarkJabroni. And subscribe to Jabronology TV, youtube.com/fanboymarkjabroni.
If I can have your attention, please. I just received an email from the ridiculous Ring Rust. No! Hang on. I'm going to consult my magic smart ball that I got from ProWrestlingCrate.com. Am I going to read this email from the ridiculous Ring Rust general manager? Rest hold. So, okay. That encourages boos from the audience, so I'm going to encourage some boos, and I'm not going to even bother reading your email. It's probably going to be to remind me to put a wiggle on it because I got more matches to talk about from Backlash, so I'm not going to bother. I'll just filter it in my spam folder. Again. He keeps getting new email addresses. Particular Spring Rust General Manager 86. Why don't I just... Anyway, so... He just increases the number at the end and become... Anyway, so... One last match from NXT TakeOver is the tag team title match, which for whatever reason, like I said, was the main event, which saw the Authors of Pain, Akam and Razar, defending their titles against DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. I did predict that one properly, but what I didn't predict was the Snidely Whiplash action as Tommaso Ciampa turned on his partner, Johnny Wrestling, and oh no. Well, I guess as a team now, I suppose they're lost. You are listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV.
Cookies on dolls.
So, getting into WWE Backlash, we got Ty Dillinger defeating Aiden English in the pre-show, which I did foresee because it's Ty Dillinger and it's Aiden English. So it seemed like a bit of a foregone conclusion. But anyway, Aiden English kept his job, so that's really all that matters. You are listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. And Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Dolph Ziggler, which I also called. So, I mean, Dolph Ziggler doesn't seem to mind losing, and putting someone in a feud with Dolph Ziggler is probably a good thing, because Dolph Ziggler's a fairly good talent when it comes to in-ring work, and Shinsuke Nakamura is a unfairly good talent when it comes to in-ring work. Why, it's almost like the rising sun shines right out of him. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. So, the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, defeated Breezango, Tyler Breeze, and Fandango to defend their WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Entertaining match. I knew, of course, that Breezango weren't going to win, but still, I knew it was going to be entertaining. I just didn't know what specifically they were going to do. And boy, did they do it. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. Number 4, Sami Zayn defeated Baron Corbin, which I didn't call. I figured it would be Baron Corbin, punch, 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 Sami Zayn is unconscious. But it wasn't one of those matches, so pleasantly surprised. The Welcoming Committee, which is Natalia, Carmella, and Tamina, with James Ellsworth in their corner, defeated Charlotte Flair, Naomi, and Becky Lynch, who I called Flow Easy last week, and I named their tag team, in a 6-woman tag match. I did actually call it the other way. So that's 2 matches in a row that I incorrectly predicted, so I guess I'm going to be crying myself to sleep tonight. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. Kevin Owens defeated AJ Styles by countout. I figured, I'm not sure what I guess I just assumed that Kevin Owens would defend his title. I just didn't, I don't usually concentrate too much on the particulars of how something's going to happen. Like, I think it's going to be with a roll-up at this time period. No, I don't go to that, But by countout, when AJ Styles got his foot tangled up in some wires, that was, well, it makes room for a rematch. So that's something you can say, certainly. And it certainly led to an interesting tag match on SmackDown Live the following Tuesday. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. Luke Harper defeated Eric Rowan in a This Match Happened match. You had exactly 9 minutes to go to the bathroom or make yourself something to eat or do almost literally anything except sit and watch that match. Like me on Facebook, tinyurl.com/RayRust. Follow me on Twitter @MarkGibroni. And subscribe to Jabronology TV, youtube.com/fanboymarkjabroni. In the main event, saw Jinder Mahal defeat Randy Orton for the WWE Championship, much to the chagrin of all the butthurt Tosspot Internet Wrestling fans. That's it for another show, kiddies. Check me out on Facebook, where you can keep track of all the news that's right on the mark, from around ringside to the latest concerts. See you at the shows. Later days.
This is 93.5 CHMR FM.